So there must be an investigative committee that must investigate to know what is the collateral the federal government are using, especially in the money they are borrowing from the Chinese government. We want to know what is the collateral for them. And if the collateral is pertinent to anything pertaining to any region in Biafra land, then we have international lawyers and others who are Biafrans who will take up the case and start to make case against the federal government of Nigeria in that regard. That is another thing. So back to the speech of Awolowo. And he said that the existing public debt of the Federation should become the responsibility of the region on the basis of the location of the projects in respect of each debt, whether internal or external. That each region should have and control its own militia and police force. What does it mean? Both all this military and police and all those ones that are occupying Biafra land, all of them are terrorists, and we are going to fight them to the last. I'm going to tell you exactly what we are going to do. And I'm going to devise a method for you where nobody should take any case to the police station again. And all the military people, all the military personnel in the whole of the southeastern place, in the whole of the Biafran land, all of them should vacate. They are terrorists. And I'm telling them when I finish using the report, I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm going to do about that. He said that each region should have and control its own militia and police force. That with immediate effect, all military personnel should be posted to their regions of origin. All military personnel should be posted to their region of origin. It means that no Biafran should again recognize any police officer or DPO who is not a Biafran in Biafra land. And it is with immediate effect. It must be done. And I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm going to do. Let me finish this report. That the existing public debt of the Federation should become the responsibility of the region on the basis of the location of the projects in respect of each debt, whether internal or external. That each region should have and control its own militia and police force. That with immediate effect, all military personnel should be posted to their regions of origin. To their regions of origin. If we are to live in harmony one with another as Nigerians, it is imperative that these demands and others which are not related should be met without further delay by those who have hitherto resisted them. To those who may argue that the acceptance of these demands will amount to transforming Nigeria into a federation with a weak central government, my comment is that any link, however tenuous, which keeps the East in the Nigerian Union is better in my view than no link at all. Let me repeat it. To those who may argue that the acceptance of these demands will amount to transforming Nigeria into a federation with a weak central government, my comment is that any link, however tenuous, which keeps the East in the Nigerian Union is better in my view than no link at all. This is a very strong statement. It's by President Awolowo. Do you know what? Do you know what? Let me tell you what is happening. Look at the President Buhari's government today. What is happening today? The President Buhari's government, they gave you a healthy country and you ran it aground. The spirit of Cain. You ran it aground. Why? Because this is a government of the Yorubas and the Yorubas and the Fulanis. Unproductivity, look at it. They ran it aground the same time because once Biafrans go, it will show their deficiency and degeneration as the people who are incapable of doing anything. Look at Fashola. When back in Nigeria and all those people we are there and neighbor and all that. Look at power sector. Look at what is happening here. Look at central government, central bank governor. When Soludo was here and all that, look at it. What happened? Sanusi came, what happened? They ran everything aground. They held the country that was given to him. Look at Buhari, he ran Nigeria aground. That is what spirit of Cain, spirit of Cain, spirit of productivity. Who brought Buhari to power? Buhari have already made up his mind. He's not coming out again to contest any election. It was the Yorubas, it was the Tinubus and the Obasanjo. They went and brought him out to checkmate Jonathan. Now look at when Jonathan was there, the fastest growing economy in the whole of Africa. Look at it. Then what happened? They ran a healthy country aground. So the picture you are seeing today is exactly the picture of what you see when Biafra is detached from Nigeria. Look at it. Why is Buhari's government comatose? Because the Biafrans are not there. Why did Obasanjo succeed? Because Biafrans were the ones who were pioneering, his his programs and his projects. And that reminds me, Okonjo-Iweala has been appointed by the World Bank Organization and all that. I know Obasanjo blackmailed him to accept that appointment. You know, these are our mothers. Let me tell you one thing, you are going to reject that appointment no matter what happens. No matter what happens, you must reject that appointment. They can't kill people and they come and place it on your head. You will not do it. You have to reject it. If you don't reject it, I will face you. I'll come after you and I'm going to attack you. They are talking of they are going to repatriate, they are going to do what? Bring Daizeni down. Our mother, bring her down. Have you brought Obasanjo, Huso Bakasi? Have you probed Adenuga and all that? Have you done that? You have not touched all those people and you are talking of Yeta and these people I am the one making war for them. You can never. If the British government knows that they are British government, let them try and bring Daizeni back. I will fight all of you. Don't worry yourself. Don't worry. Daizeni should have the spirit of a strong mind. Don't fear. We are here. We are backing you. We are going to fight all of them. We are going to fight them. And I personally have been anointed to fight them. And I've been anointed to fight them and defeat them. United Nations, who, those criminals and all of them, I'm going to fight you and fight you. I will win you. I will win you. I will defeat you no matter whatever happens. And Biafra, I must get it from your hand no matter whatever you do. We are going to see what is going to happen. So Okonjo-Iweala must, as a matter of fact, reject that appointment. Daizeni, don't fear anything. Stay where you are. Eyeta, don't worry yourself. All of you, don't worry yourself. We are going to see what is going to happen. We are going to see you are going to see war. That is why I'm dressed like this. That is why I'm dressed like this. It's for what? It's a time for what? Battle. And we are going to see that battle. You will see that battle and you will die. Every Biafran child, adult, everything, everybody must participate in this fight. And you are going to fight it no matter whatever happens. So that when Biafra comes, every Biafran citizen will be a military person. Every Biafran citizen will own a gun for safety and every other thing. You must be an army that will be ready to fight at any instance. So if all these ones you are doing, you are just wasting your time. Death is staring you in the face. And I told you, the way I will engineer this war, whether you like it or not, whether you agree or not, you must fight in it. So wherever you are today, it's your battlefield and it's your burial ground. So start now to make arrangements on how you are going to die, kill and be killed. That is the only way out. And the Yorubas, you must not spare them. So let me come back to Awolowo's speech. As for what they are planning for Governor Wike of Rivers State, you can never succeed in this world. Wike, go on, don't fear. You are encompassed by invisible armies. Waiting on you to go on, nothing will happen. Go on, and when this war starts, Buhari will have no right to impose any state of emergency in any place. Because you are terrorists. You're telling me, don't mind that Janja within the Kalu traitor, who is asking money for arms and all that and all that. You must have a base. Where is your base? Where is your base? If they give you arms, you want to buy arms, where will you put them? Where is your agitation must have a base? Where is your base? You're wasting your time. You don't know what is happening. This war is going to be a street fight. I'm going to analyze how this war is going to fight. The one that God gave you in Imo State, have you secured their base? And this war will start from Imo State. Don't worry. Go and bring all the whole armies in this war, put them in Imo State. I'm coming after you. You are going to see what is going to happen. That Imo State, the war will start there and it's going to end there. So be prepared. The war of Imo is coming. Don't worry, let me finish. Let me finish honoring our people. So start now to go and bring all your Fulani Janjaweed. Go and bring them in Imo State. And that Biafra land will mark the end of the existence of the Fulani Empire. God gave Saul, Saul, he gave the true Samuel, he gave Saul, another. Go and utterly destroy the Amalekite, and he spared Agag. That your king, Agag. This time around, we are going to kill Agag. You are going to see. You are going to see what you have never seen before. I'm not an teaching priest in the house of God. I just put Bible for you. We are the fans of war of the lost army. That's what we are. I'm not an teaching priest. I don't care about the Bible. What I care, we are the fans of war. We are warriors. And we are going to see war. You are going to see war. War will see war, and there will be no war. War saw war, and there was no war. You are going to see more than. You are going to see more than Hitler's war. You are going to see more than all the whole wars that have started from generation to generation. Combined together, you are going to see a war. You are going to see an oceanic cataclysm. You are going to see war. When you see war, if they tell you about war again, you are never, ever again going to pronounce what is called war. Just tell me, you are going to see war. You will see war, and you will say you will not fight again. And after this war, it will turn this world upside down. Go and finish it. After this war, the next war that is coming is the Armageddon war. after this war, the next war that is coming is Armageddon war. Already what is happening in Biafra land have global consequences. It is destroying the economy of nations. Go and watch America. What is happening in America is going back there. Because of the atrocities they are committing, even under President Trump guidance, guiding to destroy us. You destroy us, your own country is burning. I told you, this America you are seeing, there is going to be a greater war in America, and America is going to divide. Already the economy is finished. And the death of this George Floyd is going to cause what more problem for your economy and every other thing. You are going to see. Because fake columnists have already penetrated it and they are using it to destroy our people. You want to destroy our own people, then your own country is going to be free. If you don't allow Biafrans to go, even walking on the street of Western nations will be impossible. Because blacks will attack West and West will attack blacks. And Biafra, holding Biafra down will destroy the economy of all whole nations. You don't know what is happening. Go and look at it. Obanje, go and look at Bakassi you sold. Babatanjo sold. That's the Garden of Eden. And the Americans are scheming to steal it back. It's not going to work. Okay? It's not going to work. We are here. They say God places a word. A sword that turns on our side. And that sword that turns on our side. You cannot. I'll tell you when I finish, I will tell you how I came to know that Bakassi is the Garden of Eden. By the time I finish, I'll show you my mission. And I will show you my mission from the Bible. I will quote it and you are going to see it face to face to know that I'm not a charlatan like Nnamdi Kanu. Before the Western delegates went to Lagos to attend the meetings of the Advert committee, they were given a clear mandate that if any region should opt out of the Federation of Nigeria, then the Federation should be considered to be at an end. And that the Western region and Lagos should also opt out of it. It would then be up to Western Nigeria and Lagos as an independent sovereign state to enter into association with any of the Nigerian units of its own choosing and on terms mutually acceptable to them. Now look at Yoruba. They are lumping Lagos with the Yoruba nation. They are lumping them together because they recognize that they are two different people. But yet, when they come to the when they come to the former Eastern region, they want to remove the so-called Niger Delta from their brothers, the Igbos from their brothers. So the Lagos people should separate from the Yorubas. They think they are clever. This thing is going to change them. Look at it. It's a before the Western delegates went to Lagos to attend the meetings of the Advert committee, they were given a clear mandate that if any region should opt out of the Federation of Nigeria, then the Federation should be considered to be at end. And the Western region and Lagos. So Western region is different from Lagos. Let it be known it's different from Lagos. So don't deceive anybody, you're deceiving yourself. Then the Western region and Lagos should also opt out of it. It would then be up to Western Nigeria and Lagos as an independent sovereign state to enter into association with any of the Nigerian units of its own choosing. So Western region and Lagos are two different states. And on terms mutually acceptable to them. I see no reason for departing from this mandate. If any region in Nigeria considers itself strong enough to compel us to enter into association with it on its own terms, I would only wish such a region luck. But such luck, I must warn, will in the long run be no better than that which has attended the doing of all colonial powers than the ages. So we must endeavor to separate Lagos from Western regions. All the Yorubas that are in Lagos, they should leave Lagos alone. Lagos is not their place. They think they are clever. But you see this place, this is what you started it, we are going to finish it for you. And it's going to destroy all of you. Just mark my word and see what is going to happen. Back to Awolowo's speech. He said, this much I must say in addition on this point, we have neither military might nor the overwhelming advantage of numbers here in Western Nigeria and Lagos. But we have justice of a noble and imperishable cause on our side, namely the right of a people to unfettered self-determination. If this is so, then God is on our side, and if God is with us, then we have nothing whatsoever in this world to fear. God is on our side because our cause is right. What they are doing contradicted all of noble objective lessons of history and mankind and principles of God, and is therefore bound to do what? Bound to fail. If God is back to our speech, if God is with us, then we have nothing whatsoever in this world to fear. The fourth imperative and the second conditional one has been fully dealt with in my recent letter to the military governor of Western Nigeria, Colonel Robert Adebayo, and in the representation which your deputation made last year to the head of the federal military government, Lieutenant Colonel Yakubu Gowon. As a matter of fact, as far back as November last year, a smaller meeting of leaders of thought in this region decided that unless certain things were done, we would no longer participate in the meeting of the Advert committee. But since then, not even one of our legitimate requests has been granted. I will therefore take no more of your time in making further comment on a point with which you are well familiar. As soon as our humble and earnest requests are met, I shall be ready to take my place on the Advert committee, but certainly not before. In closing, I have this piece of advice to give. In order to resolve amiably and in the best interest of all Nigerians, certain attributes are required on the part of Nigerian leaders, military as well as non-military leaders alike, namely vision, realism, and unselfishness. But above all, what will keep Nigerian leaders in the north and east unwaveringly in the path of wisdom, realism, and moderation is courage and steadfastness on the part of Yoruba people in the cause of what they sincerely believe to be right, equitable, and just. In the past 5 years, we in the West and Lagos have shown that we possess these qualities in a large measure. If we demonstrate them again as we did in the past, calmly and heroically, we will save Nigeria from further bloodshed and imminent threat, and at the same time, preserve our freedom and self-respect into the bargain. May God rule and guide our deliberations here and endure all the Nigerian leaders with the vision, realism, and unselfishness, as well as courage and steadfastness in the cause of truth, which the present circumstances demand. End of Awolowo's speech. Then let us evaluate this man's letter action to see whether he is a satanic agent or whether he's an angel of light. It's very, very important the whole world listen to what I'm going to say now. I want to read a news report that is very, very germane to the discussion we are having now. It said, Awolowo never promised Ojukwu Yoruba would secede. This is Rev Kehinde. This is Punch of 8 July 2018. We are going to evaluate whether Awolowo is an angel of light or an angel of darkness. And whatever comes out of here is a reflection of the Yoruba tribe. I'm reading from the news report. It said, responding to a question from the Punch newspaper crew during the promotion of a book he wrote on the wife of the late Yoruba leader, H.I.D. Awolowo, wife of Chief Obafemi Awolowo, entitled Traverse of H.I.D. Awolowo. Femi Kehinde, a former House of Representative member, was asked this question among others. And I'm quoting the question. Look at the question. There are many insinuations about Awolowo's role in the Civil War. What was his actual contribution? This is the question. And this is somebody who is very, very close to Awolowo. Now let us weigh his response. He said, Femi Kehinde responded, he had no symbolic role then. He had no symbolic role than that he was the vice chairman of the Federal Executive Council and Minister of Finance at the time. He was also the Asuwaju of Yoruba land. During the crisis leading to the Civil War in 1967, Awolowo was a mediating factor when he met Ojukwu in the East. He told him that if the Eastern region should secede, other regions could seek to do the same. This was misinterpreted to mean that if Ojukwu wanted to lead Eastern region out of Nigeria, Western region would also leave. Awolowo fought the war with his brain. Unknown to General Yakubu Gowon, Awolowo changed Nigerian currency to block the Eastern region from using Nigerian resources to fight Nigeria. I want to repeat this comment again. He said Awolowo was a mediating factor. Am I correct? Now look at this comment he said. Awolowo fought the war with his brain. Unknown to General Yakubu Gowon, mind you, General Yakubu Gowon was the head of state. Unknown to General Yakubu Gowon, Awolowo changed Nigerian currency to block the eastern region from using Nigerian resources to fight Nigeria. If Awolowo can change Nigerian currency without the knowledge of the head of state, then it means that Yakubu Gowon was only a puppet of Awolowo. That is it. The actual person that was ruling the country was not Gowon, but who? Awolowo. And what is the implication of that? It was Awolowo and his Yoruba race who destroyed the Igbos during the war. It was Awolowo and his Yoruba race who stabbed the Biafran children to death in the name of Koshoko. It was them that originated and operated Operation Scorch Earth in Biafra land when they fought against the Biafran creed. They never defeated. Our fathers only died. They were only killed. They were never defeated. If they are defeated, why are we here still fighting the agitation? You understand me? Biafrans don't know that Gowon is not their enemy. The best thing that ever happened to the Biafrans during the war was that Gowon was the head of state. You don't know it. God just put him there because there was a plot by the Yorubas and the British government to utterly kill all the whole Biafran children during the war. It never happened because of Gowon, because of Gowon's Christian disposition. Avoid them Christian Gowon. They don't know the role that Gowon played during the war. Leadership was imposed on him. There was nothing he could change because he was helpless. I met Gowon in 2008. I met him in Ghana in December 2008 election. The election that removed an incumbent president from power in Ghana, that is Nana Akufo-Addo by Atta Mills. I was in that election. I met Gowon. Gowon was there in the election. At the point I wanted to interview Gowon, and he gave me audience. And I came to him. When I came to him, I said I was trying to ask him about the war, what his reflections on the war. And he looked at me. I saw the pain in his eyes. I saw the agony. I saw the broken spirit of a man of God. I'm telling you honestly, I saw his tears. And he looked at me and he said, he first asked me my name. I told him, and he knew I was actually Igbo. And he now asked me, how old are you during the war? And Gowon left shedding tears, and that was the end of the interview. So the man's disposition was already the interview I had. If Gowon had not been the head of state as of the time that intended complete wipeout of the Igbos happened, there will be no race called Biafra today. The Igbos that will be existing in communities, not a majority ethnic clan again in the history of this world. Gowon did it. He's not my friend. I don't have anything with him, but I'm here to tell the truth. And what I'm saying is actually the truth. So the man who committed genocide during the war is not Gowon at all. It's Awolowo and his Yoruba race. And this is in the record. So when you see that criminal threat on Nnamdi Kanu telling you have a special bond with the Yorubas, that he's a traitor. That's what he's telling you. He is a traitor. The bond he has is the bond of traitorship. And I will still come to him now. It's not even the time to come to him. He said, those who are agitated, if you are an activist, you have to be in exile, or you have to be on the grave, or you have to be in prison. Is he on exile? He's not in exile. He's a British citizen. He has dual citizenship, so he's not on exile. He's in his home. So his patriotism is to Britain, not to Biafra. So don't let that Janjaweed deceive you. Stop being deceived. So back to the interview of Kehinde, He said, Awolowo fought the war with his brain, unknown to General Yakubu Gowon, who was the head of state. Now you know it. Awolowo changed Nigerian currency to block the eastern region from using Nigerian resources to fight Nigeria. Only the then permanent secretary of finance in the finance ministry, Alhaji Atta, central bank governor Clement Ison, and Awolowo knew about the plan. It was a masterstroke that the eastern region could not get out of because the Biafran currency was not legal tender. He also blocked supply of food to the region. Without those moves, the war would not have ended in January 1970. Yoruba land, we are going to destroy Yoruba land completely. You are going to use the Yorubas to put on your sheds, your head. Use them as a shed in this world. You are going to use them as a shed to extricate yourself. If you allow them to go, you are finished. So I'm giving you this document so that you will not be deceived. So you don't allow that Janjaweed to deceive you, Nnamdi Kanu. There's a scripture I want to read, and this scripture is in 2 Kings, chapter 6, from verse 8 to the end. Elisha struck the Syrians blind, and I'm reading the scripture. He said, then the king of Syria warred against Israel and took counsel with his servants, saying, in such and such a place shall be my camp. And the man of God sent unto the king of Israel, saying, beware that thou pass not such a place, for thither the Syrians are come down. And the king of Israel sent to the place which the man of God told him, and warned him of, and saved himself there, not once nor twice. Therefore the heart of the king of Syria was sore troubled for this thing. And he called his servant, and said unto them, will you not show me which of us is for the king of Israel? And one of his servants said, none, my lord, O king, but Elisha the prophet that is in Israel. Telleth the king of Israel the words that thou speakest in thy bedchamber. And he said, go and spy where he is, that I may send and fetch him. And it was told him, saying, behold, he is in Dothan. Therefore sent he thither horses and carriers and a great host, and they came by night and compassed the city about. And it is important. This is the section that made me to be reading this thing. And when the servant of the man of God was risen early and gone forth, behold, an host compassed the city, both with horses and carriers. And his servant said unto him, alas, my master, how shall we do? And he answered, fear not. Biafrans do what? Fear not. For they that be with us are more than they that be with them. For they that be with the Biafrans are more than they that be with the Fulanese. And Elisha prayed and said, Lord, I pray thee open his eyes that he may see. And the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha. And when they came down, you see it, you are encompassed by invisible armies of God. All of them are there. Both Samson are there, both King David, all of them, both Joab, all those strong warriors. All of them are there willing you, come along. Both King David, all of them are there. Telling you, come, we are here. All of them. Abraham, our forefather, all of them, all our ancestors, they are there. And the male lion of the tribe of Judah, our Lord Jesus Christ, is with us. Fear not. Greater are those that are with us than they that be with them. Fear not. After I'm going to separate Biafrans from those that believe in Jesus and those that do not believe. I've separated, but not now. Young man, and he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha. And when they came down to him, Elisha prayed unto the Lord and said, smite these people, I pray thee, with blindness. And he smote them with blindness, according to the word of Elisha. I'm going to stop here. This is where we are going to reenact this particular miracle. We are going to shut their eyes and make them blind. And what is their eyes? Their eyes is Nnamdi Kalu's Radio Biafra. I told you, those who are controlling this jihad are John Kerry and John Campbell. All of them, the American CIA, they are plotting it there. Above the head of Nigerian government. They don't know what. When they finish all this massacre, you can never get any of them. You cannot trace it even to the local Fulanese. So it's Radio Biafra and the Kalu's brokers that they are using to pass the order to their what? To their field commanders. That is why anything he says, he must bring Zeke in. Aburi Accord was Zeke that wrote that Aburi Accord, but people don't know, and I'm going to prove it. Anytime he's making that broadcast, he must bring Zeke in, or he must bring John Kerry in and all that, in order to refer them to that banter of Zeke and Ahmadu Bello. Of what? Where that John Kerry's speech in Sokoto was killed in, where this jihad started. So that is what is happening there. Go and watch all Nnamdi Kalu's broadcasts. Watch. Remember, the intention is restoration of Biafra. Now watch his broadcast to see whether they are key towards achieving Biafra restoration or whether it is a signal. And I'm going to decode all his broadcasts for you. So it is him that they are using, that the Americans are using to give signal and command to their free terrorists in Biafra land on what they are going to do. And look at it. John Campbell is the Rabonche Senior Fellow for African Policy Studies at the Council of Foreign Relations in Washington, D.C. This is the man who is in charge of the whole Boko Haram, so the atrocities that they are committing in Nigeria. Both all these things that they are doing now, this jihad that they have planned to launch in Biafra land, John Campbell is directly responsible for that. And I'm calling on you, John Campbell, to withdraw your jackals from Biafra land, otherwise you are going to regret it. If you don't withdraw them, all the whole mosques, all the whole Sunni mosques in Nigeria, all of them will burn, and the whole Fulanis will be destroyed. Any attack on Biafran communities, go and attack Fulani communities anywhere you see them. I'll still continue this. A lot of things are going to be exposed here. You go and destroy. If the Fulanis don't leave Biafra land and they back on this jihad, all Fulanis will die. So let John Campbell tell his jackals that they should do what? That they should vacate Biafra land. Already you plotted a coup. You want to kill both Buhari and all of them. You want to eliminate them. After carrying out a genocide in Biafra land, then all of you eliminate all these savage chiefs, and then you call Nigerians to come and make peace and all that. Then you come and do referendum when all these janjaweeds have taken over our place. Call your jackals to order. If you don't call your jackals to order, call them, withdraw them. If they don't go away, I'm warning you now, the whole capital cities of this world is going to burn. We are going to reflect on Nnamdi Kalu's speech. If you don't withdraw them, this country, the world will burn, and you will be responsible for it. Americans will be responsible for it. Go among what I'm telling you. Before we dwell further on Nnamdi Kalu's treachery and the devilish intention of the American government, it's important we go back to our speech, to bring out something that is very, very important in order to understand the intention of the Buhari-led administration intention as long as the Biafrans are concerned, and to provide us with counterbalancing legal procedures to checkmate the intention, the devilish intention of the so-called Buhari's administration to wipe out the Biafrans. So I'll go back to our Chief Awolowo's speech, and I'm reading from it. I would like to comment briefly on these four imperatives. There has of late been a good deal of sabre rattling in some parts of the country. Those who advocate the use of force for the settlement of our present problems should stop a little and reflect. I can see no vital and abiding principle involved in any war between the North and East. If the East attack the North, it would be for purpose of revenge, pure and simple. Any claim to the contrary would be untenable. If it is claimed that such a war is being waged for the purpose of recovering the real and personal properties left behind in the North by Easterners, two inseparable points are obvious. Firstly, the personal effects left behind by Easterners have been wholly looted or destroyed and can no longer be physically recovered. Secondly, since the real properties are immovable, in case of recovery of them can only be by means of forcibly military occupation of those parts of the North in which these properties are situated. On the other hand, if the North attacked the East, it could only be for the purpose of further strengthening and entrenching its position of dominance in the country. Very, very important. If it is claimed an attack on the East is going to be launched by the federal government and not by the North as such, and that it is designed to ensure the unity and integrity of the Federation, two other inseparable points also become obvious. First, if a war against the East becomes a necessity, it must be agreed to unanimously by the remaining units of the Federation. In this connection, the West, Midwest, and Lagos have declared their implacable opposition to the use of force in solving the present problem. In the first of such declaration by 3 out of remaining 4 territories of Nigeria, a war against the East could only be a war favored by the North alone. You have seen what we are seeing now. It's a war favored by what? By the Fulanis and their international backers. Second, if the true purpose of such a war is to preserve the unity and integrity of the Federation, then this ends can be achieved by the very simple devices of implementing the recommendation of the committee which met on August 9, 1966, as reaffirmed by a decision of the military leaders at Aburi on January 5, 1967, as well as by accepting such the demands of the East, West, Midwest, and Lagos as are manifestly reasonable and essential for assuring harmonious relationship and peaceful coexistence between them and their brothers and sisters in the North. So the question arises, Why are they not implementing the Abuja Accord now? That is one question. Why are they not implementing the Abuja Accord now? Now, secondly, he pointed out about an army solely being a northern army. So let us see the security arrangement in the east. This is not detailed, but let me just a brief of it, security arrangement in the southeast to know whether it is a criminal invasion to dominate and wipe out these people, or whether it is being done in the interest of the nation or national unity. Let me read you this thing that was written by Aloy Ejimako some time ago on the security arrangement in the southeast. And when you say southeast here, what you get in southeast is a complete reflection, the exact repetition of what they have done in all the former eastern, southeastern region, in all the former southeastern region before, and even including the Middle Belt now. Now, let me just read what he said. He said the current security arrangement for Southeast is unconstitutional. This is what he wrote. He said the expanded security meeting of Southeast held recently with Southeast governors had an increasing posse of security chiefs in attendance, comprised of the following: Major General Abubakar Makobi, this is Fulani, GOC 82 Division Nigerian Army, that is Enugu. Air Vice Marshal Idi Amin, the same Fulani, Air Officer, commanding the same place. Yusuf Ishaku, Director SSS, Anambra, look at it, the same Ishak, the same Fulani. AJ Ibrahim, Director DSS Abia State. H.E. Abdullahi, the same Fulani, Director DSS Ebonyi. Bimbo Likinyo, this one is Yoruba, Director DSS Enugu. Abdullahi Danger, the same Fulani, Director DSS Imo. Mustafa Dandura, the same Fulani, CP Anambra. Ene Okon, this one is CP Abia State. Awosola Awotaide, CB, Commissioner of Police, Ebonyi State. Ahmadu Abdurrahman, Commissioner of Police, Enugu State. Rabio Ladodo, Commissioner of Police, Imo State. All these names are Fulanis. You will notice that there is no single Igbo or Southeast person at the helm of deciding matters of security, life and death that concern people of the Southeast. This is unconstitutional. It is wrong, ungodly, and dangerous. So what does it portend? You see that the intention of Buhari-led administration is to do what? To wipe out the Southeasterners and take over their position. So we are not dealing with a legal constitutional procedure anymore. We are dealing with a criminal army of invasion exterminators. So that point should be understood. And from what I read about Awolowo, there are some people who we are still doubting that Awolowo never had that there was no promise between Ojukwu and Awolowo that if the East secede, the West, the Southwest will follow suit. You have heard it from the horse's mouth, from Awolowo himself. You see how he betrayed the agreement with Ojukwu, like I have said. So now, let me come back to the issue of the Americans. I have told you that any killing in Biafra land, the Americans should be held responsible. President Trump directly should be held responsible for any killing in the Southeast. People don't know what they have planned for the Southeast. What they have planned for you, which I am still going to elaborate more detail as we go on. They have set more than 7 assassinating squads against the former Biafran territory. With their Fulani herdsmen, after the killings of their Fulani herdsmen, more than 7 terrorist organizations have been set for you. Both ISIS, ISWAP, all these Boko Haram people, they are releasing all those selected terrorists from, well-trained, black, from both contributed by some West African countries and international agencies and others. 7 different dimensions of terrorists are going to attack the East. When the Fulani herdsmen finish whatever they are doing, the ISIS will come. The people that remained, ISIS will finish them. The one ISIS remained, Al-Qaeda will finish just like that. That is what they have planned for you. So there is nothing like any escape for you. That is what they have planned for you. And that thing they have planned for you, President Trump is privy to it. He knows what it is because they are pursuing American policy. That is what they are pursuing. They are pursuing, this is the American policy that every president that comes to rule America must pursue their national policy. If you don't pursue it, they will assassinate you. That is what they do. So let me read something for you. This is what President Trump said. I'm going to read it for you. He said, ISIS 100% defeated, says Trump. This is Nation of March 23, 2019. And let me read it briefly. He said the United States President, Mr. Donald Trump, on Saturday announced the total defeat of the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, ISIS terrorist group in Iraq and Syria territories. Trump, in a statement by the White House office of the press secretary, said ISIS had been defeated 100% in its former controlled territories of Iraq and Syria. Quoting President Trump, I am pleased to announce that together with our partners in the global coalition to defeat ISIS, including the Iraqi security forces and the Syrian Democratic Forces, the United States has liberated all ISIS-controlled territory in Syria and Iraq, 100% of the caliphate. 100% of the caliphate. Just 2 years ago, ISIS controlled a vast amount of territories in both Iraq and Syria. Since then, we have retaken more than 20,000 square miles of land and liberated millions of Syrians and Iraq from ISIS caliphate. ISIS loss of territory is further evidence of its false narrative, which tries to legitimize a record of savagery that includes brutal execution, the exploitation of children as soldiers, and the social abuse and murder of women and children. To all the young people on the internet believing in ISIS propaganda, you will be dead if you join. Think instead about having a great life, Trump announced. The United States leader noted that while on occasions these cowards will resurface, they have lost all prestige and power. The president added that ISIS terrorists are losers and will always be losers. He further stated, we will remain vigilant against ISIS by aligning global counter-terrorism efforts to fight ISIS until it is finally defeated wherever it operates. The United States will defend American interests wherever and whenever necessary. We will continue to work with our partners and allies to totally crush radical Islamic terrorists. Well, President Trump lied to you, and you can see it. America are the chief sponsors of and promoters of terrorism in Nigeria, with the active knowledge and acquiescence of President Trump. Now, let me show you. This thing was, when did he make this statement? He made it, this was March 23, 2019. Now, let me read one report for you again. This report is West Africa, the only place in world Al-Qaeda and ISIS affiliates team up. This is by U.S. military, and I'm quoting Vanguard of February 27, 2020. Now, let me read the report. He said the only place in the world where fighters linked to Al-Qaeda and the Islamic State group are cooperating is in West African sprawling Sahel region, giving the extremists greater depth as they push into new areas, according to the commander of the U.S. Military Special Force in Africa. Where is this place? This place is Nigeria, Biafra land. And all these team up are the complete team up of what they have set to annihilate the Biafrans, to completely wipe you out, because it is their what? Their national policy. Still continuing with the report. I'm quoting him. I believe that if it is left unchecked, it could very easily develop into a great threat to the West Africa and the United States. U.S. Air Force Brigadier General Doug Anderson told the Associated Press in an interview this week. This is a United States commander that is saying this. Is President Trump not aware of this report? He is aware of this report. I tell you, my prophecies come from the Lord Jesus Christ. Don't mind charlatans. That was the first person who supported Trump, when nobody gave him any chance at all. But now you see all of them, because they are charlatans. Trump is this, Trump is God sent, Trump is this. They don't know anything. But I'm giving you a report. He said the leader of U.S. Special Operation Command Africa described the threat even as the Pentagon considers reducing the U.S. military presence in Africa. Experts have long worried about collaboration between Al-Qaeda and the Islamic State group while the cooperation is in the Sahel. While the cooperation in the Sahel is not currently a direct threat to the U.S. or the West, it is very destabilizing to the region, and that's instead. Destabilizing to what? The region, that is West Africa, that is Nigeria particularly. He spoke on the sideline of the U.S. military annual counter-terrorism exercise in West Africa, currently the most active region for extremists on the continent. And what is the target? The target is what? Biafra. And all these commands are what you will see when we come. You see how the French president, why he came to Nigeria. All these things are what they have been using the IPOF radio through Nnamdi Kanu to give direct order to their field commanders. So all these things you see Nnamdi Kanu parroting in his radio and all that, all those things that are happening in Asorok, Nnamdi Kanu is the one engineering it. They are passing the order because the Asorok people, the Buhari is not there. So they are using Nnamdi Kanu to correct the mistake the impostor in Asorok is making, and also to instruct them on what to do to destroy the Biafrans so that Nigeria will not disintegrate. So anybody that is thinking that Nnamdi Kanu is fighting for Biafra, that person is wasting his time. He is fighting for Nigeria to remain together. And in this particular edition, you are going to see exactly why the foreign powers that are engineering this thing don't want Nigeria to disintegrate, because the survival of the Western nation depends on Nigeria remaining together, as you will find out in this particular edition that we are going to preach. So Nnamdi Kanu is a traitor. Go and listen very carefully to everything that he's saying. Whatever he says, if he tells you that herdsmen are going to go to Ebonyi, it's an instruction for them to go to Ebonyi State. That is what they were using the Yoruba pastors to do before, as I will explain in this particular place. So he is a complete traitor to this particular thing. And I will show you, you are going to see why the Western powers don't want anything to do with Nigerian disintegration. And that is very, very dangerous, as we are going to see. So let me go back to the speech of the American commander, that I was reading before, that says West Africa is the only place in the world Al-Qaeda and ISIS are affiliates. That is the team up. Let me still continue from where I stopped. It said the alarming new collaboration in the Sahel between affiliates of Al-Qaeda and ISIS is a result of ethnic ties in the region that include Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. He deliberately omitted Nigeria. I'm still quoting. Whereas in other parts of the world, they have different points of view that tends to bring Islamic State and Al-Qaeda into conflict. Here, they are able to overcome that and work for a common purpose. Anderson said, emphasizing that it is a local phenomenon. You know why? What America engineered in Nigeria. These are the whole amalgamation of the terrorist group that are going to attack Biafra. So there is nothing, their survival in this particular thing is very, very remote. All of them, look at it. I'm reading this report, just watch it. I'm still continuing. The cooperation allows the extremist groups to appeal to insider audience in a largely region where government presence is sparse and frustration with unemployment is high. The past year has sent a surge in deadly violence. The past year has sent a surge in deadly violence in the Sahel, with more than 2,600 people killed and more than half a million displaced in Burkina Faso alone. Al-Qaeda is the deeper threat both in the region and globally, Anderson said, and they are in Nigeria, they are in Biafra land. Islamic State is much more aggressive and blunt. And so, in some ways, they appear to be the greatest threat, he said. But Al-Qaeda, which continues to quietly expand, is for us the longer strategic concern. Al-Qaeda has been successful at consolidating efforts in northern Mali and moving south into more populated areas and taking various groups and galvanizing them together into a coherent movement, Anderson said. The most prominent of those affiliates is a coalition of Al-Qaeda-linked groups known as JNIM, J-N-I-M, with about 2,000 fighters in the region, according to the Center for Strategic and International Studies. These ones, they are already in Biafra land. By the time the herdsmen will finish their work, these ones will come and look whether any other person is remaining. That's what they are going to do. They are not hiding their intention again. They want to clear off everybody. Because now, Buhari, there's nobody is dead. Buhari is dead and all that. So they are planning to engineer chaos in Nigeria. That is the only safeguard that they have. So when they engineer this confusion, in the process of this confusion, they will eliminate the Biafrans. When they eliminate the Biafrans, like I have told you, what they want to do, when I was telling you before that in the past edition that I did, Western nations conspiracy to destroy the Biafrans, take over Nigeria, from there they take over Africa. That is what they want to do. I told you that they want to use this amalgamation, this treacherous amalgamation of the Fulani, Hausa and the Yorubas, you know, that after destroying the Igbos, they will destroy the Yorubas. After destroying the Yorubas, they will destroy the Hausas. And after destroying the Hausas, the Fulanis too, that remain, the Western powers will destroy them. So what they are actually trying to do now, because time is no longer on their side, they want to clearly destroy, the Western powers want to clearly destroy both the Biafrans, the Yorubas, the Fulanis, and the Hausas. That's what they want. They want to clear off everybody, because they have groomed up successors of new traitors that will take over from the old places. So how do they want to do it? All these people, both Babangida, you know, all these former governors, they have been using Tambuwari and all those their state. You know, this Obasanjo, Sultan of Sokoto, Rotimi Amoechi, Nyanwodo, all those people that they are using, Rotimi, all of them, they want to eliminate all these prominent people. Asari Dokobo, where is it? Wazirike, a lot of people, Tinubu, all of them, they want to completely clear everybody, all those governors that stayed there with Obasanjo and all of them. Both Okalo, all of them, they want to eliminate all of them. All these president-serving governors, like the ones from Biafra land, and they will use coronavirus. Anyone that tested positive is going to die. That is how they will terminate the life of all of them. So they want to, after, in the midst of clearing this Biafran, they will clear off all these people, general confusion in Nigeria. And it is that general confusion in Nigeria that they will use to destroy the Biafrans. After that, when they just finish what they are doing, then they will come, the Europeans, they will come, they will say, the people that remained, they will say, let us make peace in Nigeria and all that, and they bring the country together. That is the signal they have been sending to Nnamdi Kanu. So all those things Nnamdi Kanu is doing, they are only trying to engineer that confusion. They want Nigerians to start revolt. So immediately this revolt starts, the killings will start. That is exactly what they want to achieve through IPOP leader. So both Abdul Salami Abubakar and all of them go on. Everybody, Erofai, that Aerofile, where is all of them that are connected to all these agents they have been using. Now is the time for them to wipe all of them out. That is what they want to do. And the time they want to do it immediately, because they cannot continue to hide the fact that Buhari is not there. Everybody is getting agitated. So time is no longer on their side. So when you see Nnamdi Kanu parroting all those nonsense he's parroting, listen to it very, very well. If the intention is to get Biafra, check whether any of his pronouncement is keyed towards getting Biafra or keyed towards confusion. So you will see, I'm going to show you, the white race is working for them. It's a saboteur. It's a saboteur that they are using, because the problem that they had, so the greatest problem that the Western powers have is the renewed interest of the Chinese in the Nigerian affairs. Because the Western powers are the ones who were controlling the Fulanese before. But the Chinese were able to convince the Fulanese that the Western powers are betraying them, and they are using the IPOP radio and all that to checkmate them and destroy the Fulanese. So this made the Fulanese to develop a kind of ambivalent stance. They balance themselves, working to stay in the middle of both sides. It was Obasanjo through Fani Kayode and the former governor of Ekiti State, Fayose, that told Nnamdi Kanu that Buhari is dead. That was how Nnamdi Kanu came to know that particular thing. And that was where their problem started. So you should know this. So when the Western powers, when they knew that the Chinese have renewed their interest and the Fulanese are convinced that the Western powers are betraying them, and that is why the Western powers wanted to, go through jihad and all that. Chinese believe in poisoning out the whole people, in order to occupy the place. So now that the whole thing is becoming an embarrassment, both locally and internationally, time is not on the Western powers' side. They want to checkmate the Chinese, and they want to stop the embarrassment that is going on. So the only thing that they have is to key in this general confusion in Nigeria. When they key it in the midst of the general confusion, they wipe out everybody, even Aisha, Buhari, and all of them, everybody there. They will wipe, both Femi Adesina, all these people, they are going to wipe everybody out. By the time they wipe everybody out, they will pin it on Buhari and all that. By that time, Buhari has been assassinated and all that. General confusion, and at the end of the day, you will not hold anybody responsible. That is why Nnamdi Kanu must be stopped now from making any further broadcasts, so that we can be able to arrest this situation. If not, we are finished. So let me continue with the report of the general statement. The commander, the American commander statement. He said, West African Sahel, the vast strip of land just south of the Sahara Desert, for years has struggled to contain the extremist threat. In 2012, Al-Qaeda led fighters seized large swaths of northern Mali. French forces pushed them from strongholds in 2013, but the fighters have regrouped and spread south. The largest ISIS affiliate in the region, Islamic State, in the Greater Sahara, emerged more recently and claimed responsibility for killing 4 U.S. soldiers in Niger in 2007, which was an occurrence in the United States of America here. The attack led to an outcry in Washington and questions about the U.S. military presence in Africa between the advances of Al-Qaeda and ISIS-linked fighters. Once peaceful Burkina Faso has become the latest front for what experts call an alarming rate of deadly attacks. The Al-Qaeda affiliates visit areas in advance to engage with key leaders in key locations to recruit early. Anderson said, others moving later. And that is exactly what they are doing. You know, Biafra land, both in Imo State and elsewhere. Continuing, he said, the fighters are funding themselves with kidnapping for ransom as they attempt to control access to markets via taxation methods, he said. They also are likely eyeing what has been a source of income for centuries. That is what? Gold. I believe they have been happy to be able to control some of the artisanal mines and the other mines in the areas, especially the gold and other precious metals. They are easily transportable, and that's said. So all the whole minerals we have, both oil, they are going to take it over. That is exactly what it's explaining here. While Al-Qaeda affiliates work towards establishing safe havens, the Islamic State in the Greater Sahara is working to destabilize local governance, control territory, and rally people to their cause, he said. The strategy for countering the growing threat from the patchwork of Islamic extremist group is a whole of governance one that goes beyond military efforts. Anderson said, there is no easy answer. Many young men in the largely impoverished region feel isolated from the government and are drawn in by extremist promise of employment and purpose. Al-Qaeda, whether we agree with it or not, brings some level of justice to many of these areas and some level of services that aren't provided by central government, Anderson said, and they provide some representation to minority groups that don't feel part of the larger community, such as the Fulani or the Tuareg. I think you are saying it, the Fulani. African partners need to invest in governance and emphasize, though international involvement is necessary. The French lead the military efforts in the Sahel with more than 5,000 forces, and they hope to bring in more European partners, but the French have urged the United States to reconsider any cost to ease already small military footprints of about 1,400 personnel in West Africa. The U.S. has about 6,000 personnel on the continent. And that's in counter that the U.S. is already doing a lot in the Sahel through the State Department, that is large OSAD presence and investment. Instead of looking at the size of the presence, I think we should look at what is the appropriate engagement across the government from all levels, he said. With very small engagement, the U.S. can still help counter-develop the capabilities to build coalitions and share intelligence. Anderson said it is going to take all these nations working together, but also it is going to have to be African solution to an African problem, he said. This is the end of this report. And I'm going to tell you why the French president visited Nigeria when he visited. They are the ones that are training all these terrorists. So you have